What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. You check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on AJ Brown, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And my question is, I came across a post that AJ Brown posted about how he feel about team success versus his own personal success, right? And so my question is like, where do you draw the line? Like, what's fair as far as like, should you sacrifice as an athlete? Should he sacrifice all of his personal goals for the team? Like put the team first at his own expense, at his own detriment. I was listening to another guy on a podcast, and he was saying, I think it's called the Speak Easy podcast, and the guy was saying that if he was AJ Brown, he would leave Philadelphia because at this rate, he won't be able to get into the Hall of Fame because his stats won't be enough to get him in there. The team is having success. The team won the Super Bowl. Uh, Jalen Hurts will be able to get into the Hall of Fame, at this rate. But playing with the Philadelphia Eagles and the way they're playing and the way they're utilizing AJ Brown is hurting. It's going to hurt his chances to get into the Hall of Fame, right? So my question to you all is like, should his personal accolades be put on a back burner for the team success, right? And what made me, you know, also wanted to talk about that is like this article right here that came up. Where my glasses at? It says looking back on AJ Brown's post on IG after the Super Bowl, it's quote, I tried to feel how everyone made it seem to be a champion, and unfortunately, it was short it was short-lived. 2 days to be exact, right? So what he's saying here is like everybody make a big deal about him winning the Super Bowl, but and that was cool that they won the Super Bowl. It was great that he won the Super Bowl, but he didn't that 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 feeling that you get from winning the Super Bowl, it didn't last very long with him, right? He said it lasts 2 days to be exact. So also he go on to say, I thought my hard work would be justified by winning it all. It wasn't. My thrill for the game comes when I dominate. It's a hunt. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when a DB drops his head and surrenders because he can't F with me, right? And so when he put it like that, I can kind of understand, all right, if the rest of the team is having success and then he feel like as an individual, he can dominate the that defensive back and he's not given an opportunity to dominate that defensive back, somebody who he know is not, he's superior to that defensive back, then it kind of puts it kind of like his where's the motivation for him to continue to play at a high level if he's not going to have those opportunities. So you gotta, as a player and as a team, you gotta find like a middle ground, in my opinion. Whereas though you gotta be able to keep this guy, you gotta be able to keep him engaged and keep him motivated. So when the team do need him, he'll be, he'll be able to come through for the team. And then still he's got to feel like he's getting something out of it. Not just, the team, like the Eagles won the Super Bowl. No, it's not. People are not going to say AJ Brown won the Super Bowl. They're going to say the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Um, that's a tough question, man. And I know a lot of people are saying that, they might say, well, he's selfish because it's team first. And that's true. But a lot of great athletes, most great athletes are selfish. And that's part of what make these great athletes, in my opinion, great athletes, because they're selfish and they have one track minds. Like they just want to dominate. And if he's not given an opportunity to dominate, then it can be frustrating. Right. And everybody, You need and on a football team, you need a dominant wide receiver. And most, a lot of teams don't have a dominant wide receiver like a AJ Brown. But then when you do get an AJ Brown, you got to take advantage of. I remember when the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day, they had Lynn Swan on one side and they had John Stallworth and John Stallworth on another side, right? And Lynn Swan used to get all the, used to get all the publicity and all the shine. But John Stallworth was he was a very good wide receiver and used to make some spectacular catches, himself. Just imagine if John Stallworth had that, had been like, look, man, y'all not giving me the ball. I want to be, I want to shine, but it wasn't like that back in the day. I wonder if somebody like John Stallworth have any regrets. Or even Lynn Swan. Lynn Swan did make it to he did get into the Hall of Fame, but that's a tough position to be in. Whereas though you wanna have team success, but also you wanna be able to contribute. You wanna dominate. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think AJ Brown though he needs to be featured. You don't want him. He knows that they're not going to be able to go to him on every play. But I watched one game. Who did they play? I think it was Tampa Bay. I think they beat Tampa Bay like 10-7 or something like that, or 10-3. I think it was 10-7. But they only threw to AJ Brown 3 times in that game. And that's every time you come off the line of scrimmage, they want you to run your route as hard as you can run it, just so so those DBs and those safeties can respect you. But if you're not getting the ball, and you are the quality of player that AJ Brown is, it's kind of hard to stay motivated just to run like that, right? So I don't know, it's tough. I do remember, what's the other guy, Jerry Rice. Like Jerry Rice, they used to say that Jerry Rice used to sprint and go all out on every play, right? But Jerry Rice was a feature. They went to Jerry Rice, and Jerry Rice got the ball a lot. Whereas though this guy right here, AJ Brown, don't get the ball a lot. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for I don't know. I don't, as a matter, I don't think that he's really being a diva. You want somebody like AJ Brown who want the ball. You want somebody on your team like AJ Brown who is has the skill set that he have, right? And so you got to make an effort to get him the ball. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I don't know what I don't know why they not going to AJ Brown the way as much as they should. You know, and a part of the reason why, like I forgot the receiver's name on the other side of the field, but he's not getting double teamed and he's having more success or getting more targets than AJ Brown because people are really trying, the teams are double teaming AJ Brown. So the receiver on the other side is having more success or getting more targets because of AJ Brown. And so that right there got to be something that AJ Brown, that got to be, AJ Brown be like, look at this, man. This guy right here is having, a great season because he is, because of my presence on the field. The whole team is benefiting from his presence, but he don't get the ball. I think the coaching staff had to be more creative though when it comes to getting him the ball. Like as far as like have him do like some screen pass, throw him the ball on a screen, or maybe to end around. Just 3 targets during the game for somebody like him. It don't make no sense. Where's the creativity from the offensive coordinator, man? You got this weapon, you got to use him. They do you basically what the team is doing is they're allowing the defense to dictate what they do with how they use AJ Brown on the field. You got to find other ways to get him the ball. Definitely got to find different ways to get him the ball. You gotta, like I said, you can throw screens, you can have him do an end around, just get him in that offense, man. It's definitely because Philly is going to need him, the deeper they get into the season and then when they get into the playoffs, when games get tough, you just can't like, all right, now we need him to get the ball now. So now we're going to force it to him. that's not going to work. You got to find ways to have him engaged at all times, and I blame that on the coaching staff. Just get him the ball. Just get him the ball. 3 times on a game, in my opinion, definitely not enough. So that's my take on the situation. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.